Brian McQuay here. I am going to walk you through my workflow today with Sandstorm. So what I have here is the Kanban board up. You can see things are just automatically moving through because I have the dark factory enabled. What I'm going to do is this new stack just got carried over from the redesign, and I'm gonna make a new ticket to get rid of this. So I'm gonna walk you through some actual development of what I'm doing here. I'm gonna create a new ticket. All right. In the header in the upper right, we have a button, a new stack button. This was just something that got carried over from some redesign and it's unnecessary, so we can just remove that button. That's not how we move, that's not how we work within the Kanban board. The Kanban board starts with tickets and they move through the pipeline. And this new stack button contradicts how that whole workflow operates. So we just need to remove that button. Okay, so I just put that in. I'm going to file the ticket, creates the ticket. I'm going to go to refining the ticket now. That moves the ticket over here. What this does is it spins up an ephemeral Claude instance that looks at the ticket and looks at the code and judges the ticket based off of a set of criteria. There's a set of, I think, 7 different quality checks to eliminate ambiguity and edge cases, scoping, etc. I don't know all the criteria off the top of my head, but it checks the ticket. When I created this ticket here, that went into GitHub issues. It's going to read this ticket that I just, the ramble that I just did. It's going to check it in the ephemeral Claude instance, and then it's going to come back with some questions for me. And we'll just sit and we'll wait for this. Sometimes this can take a minute or two because it is doing quite a lot of checks. What I have found is that the more detailed the spec up front, the easier it is for the agentic execution to do exactly what you want. So you do all the planning up front. You get all the little details finished, fleshed out, all the ambiguity flushed out and eliminated, and then when it's actually executing, and there's very few choices that it needs to actually make. You can see these things are just still moving through the pipeline. I'm not doing anything to them. So what this did is when we started, I think it was in stack. It created a pull request, waited for CI. If CI was running, this one doesn't have CI on GitHub yet, and then it just merges the pull request. So just moved it over there when it was finished. So right now this stack is actually working, and I'll fire up a Docker desktop so you can take a look at it. That ticket is, oh no, they're not in stacks yet. It's not opening a stack in this yet. The telemetry one is in a stack. So this is the telemetry one, 468. You can kind of see it's sitting here executing, doing some work. It goes into an execute review loop. So it writes the code, reviews the code according to a set of criteria, and then any problems that it finds, it then sends back to the executor, and that fixes the problems or reviews it again. And once that finally passes, it goes to a verify step, which is essentially like a local CI, which is why I'm comfortable merging these in directly, because these tickets all pass local CI. That's what the verify step is. They don't even get a pull request until that passes. All right, this thing is finally finished. We have remove new stack button from header. This is what we're going to do. And then we have 3 questions. Let's answer them. So um, the the ticket spec checks essentially return like a JSON format that we can then parse out. And I have it giving me recommended answers to them and choices I can choose. Or I can just type freeform if I want. So it's saying which new stack header button should be removed. Both the Kanban header button and the dashboard header button. I don't know what that is talking about. So I'm not sure what you're talking about. I only see one new stack button in the upper right-hand corner when I'm in a project. I really don't know what you mean by dashboard and Kanban board. Is the dashboard the legacy dashboard um, that was removed, and now we just have the Kanban board? So I think that's what you're talking about. If that's the case, yeah, we can remove them both. I don't think we even need the dashboard at all, if that's what you're talking about. So, like I said, I just redesigned the whole app. So now it's this Kanban board. So I think there's some cruft left over here. We're gonna have it clean up. And I say, should the other stack creation entry points be removed too? I again don't know what you're talking about with dashboard. We only have the Kanban board. That's all we have. Is the dashboard, if the dashboard is this legacy dashboard that we're no longer using, then we can just get rid of the dashboard. We don't need it. Um, if you're talking about individual, like the tickets that are in spec ready, we want to keep that button to move over to the stack. But um, anything in the dashboard, I think we can remove if the dashboard is the legacy. I'm not sure. You're gonna have to figure that out. Maybe not the best ticket to do in a demo, but there's some stuff that needs to get cleaned up. But we'll keep plowing through here. If the dashboard header button is removed, should the now unused over limit logic be cleaned up? Again, I think we're in a Kanban board now, and I feel like the dashboard might just be leftover from when we didn't have a Kanban board. So if that's the case, just we can just remove all of it. Well, we'll see what happens. This one had a little. I picked this ticket because I picked this idea because I thought just removing that button would have been easy, but apparently there's some leftover junk that needs to get cleaned up. But this is the nature of the beast, right? Um, so that's gonna go. That's gonna go. Um, when we moved over to the Kanban board, I lost usage, so I tend to go here, back to Claude Code directly, go to usage. We got 52% usage right now, so we got some breathing room. I am adding in telemetry, which is pretty cool. Totally hands off. Let's see where that. There's a few tickets for that. We've got telemetry 5 and 6 left. We've got the front end and then some cleanup work. And then this is just the epic. So that'll be pretty cool. That's a whole telemetry system to add some insight into where all the tokens are going. So this is all running locally. This isn't, let's see what my process usage is here. So you can see it's not really putting a strain on anything here. We got what, 38% GPU, that's, or CPU, 25% GPU. So it's not much. It only has one stack running though. It's only got this one, and then this ephemeral Claude instance. This is just Claude thinking. It's going through, looking at code, trying to make sure it understands, since I probably gave it a much larger scope to remove the whole dashboard. It may it's probably going to ask me some more questions. Yep, one more question. After moving the header, new stack button, and the legacy dashboard. Okay, so that was the legacy dashboard. That was correct. The new stack dialog has no remaining live entry points. The spec ready start stack button uses a different path, and new open stack dialog. Forget ticket. How far should the cleanup go? Full cleanup. Let's delete it all. Full cleanup. Also delete the new stack dialog and this renderer and the dead store plumbing, all of it. Okay, this is going to be quite a big cleanup. Wow. Just removing a button turned into a big ordeal. That's funny. But this is good. It's going to clean up some of that mess that got left over. What I tend to do is typically every now and then I'll have an architectural review, find dead code, make sure things are still in alignment, and then just work on cleaning things up from that. And I think that's a good process, even like pre-agentic development, right? Like it's always been a good idea to take a step back and review your system architecture, make sure things are aligned and things drift away from architectural intent over time naturally with teams and different engineers, and it's a natural process. So it's always a good idea to reevaluate and realign and clean up dead code. This is something that's always been a problem in software engineering, and by doing periodic reviews, I can do an architectural review in just a matter of minutes. I'll just bring one up that I did recently. Let's see. Here's one. Oh, this is some architecture planning for swapping out. I'm trying to plan out not just replacing Claude code, but adding the option for open code as well. So use Claude code, but also possibly if I used open code, it would allow me access to so many more providers and models out of the box. So I think I'm going to go that direction at some point. And anyways, the point is, I created this architecture document just to. Oh, is this linking them all? Oh, it linked them all together. Um, so here's the basic architecture. I have it go through and review the architecture, stack lifecycle, so on. And here we go. It used this phrase because I called it messy. All right, so we got some stuff in here that needs to be cleaned up. Some God files that need some breaking down. Some inconsistent dependencies. I think there was some. Oh, I've already done the. There was another section in here for dead code that I already went through, but I did that after. I did that before. I did it before the other the Kanban board was written. All right, so it finished. It went into spec ready. It approved the ticket spec. That moves the card over here. Once the card gets here, if you have the dark factory option on here, dark factory mode enabled, it automatically spins up a new stack. And now what it does is it uses Docker Desktop to spin up an entirely new stack, no open ports, and I'm sorry, not Docker Desktop, Docker Compose up essentially, and it uses your existing stack from your Docker Compose, and it injects this Claude one, which has Claude installed and set up, and does the execution here. It uses whatever your login is, whatever your normal OAuth token is on your local instance. And it got the task, and it's charging away. So we can see it working. The other one that was open has already been closed and merged. So this is essentially the software factory running. I want to let this finish. I want to keep this video going until this thing finishes, and then I'll show you the actual button getting removed. All right. While that's running, I'm going to just go ahead and fire up the next telemetry ticket. That moves it over there. Okay. It's thinking. It's going to look at the ticket. It's going to look at the code. Well, this might actually add telemetry into the front end. This should be interesting if that goes through. It's fine. It went through four tickets and then one cleanup ticket I had to add to kind of bring everything back into alignment, because Claude created the tickets, but it didn't spec them out cleanly, so intent kind of drifted throughout those tickets. So there was an extra ticket that got created to kind of bring them back into alignment with the original intent and the original architectural plan. So and so this is like the one of the last two tickets that actually brings it finally into the front end. See if it actually functions, shows me some telemetry data. What I did is I had Claude generate me an HTML file. Now, here's an example of one. Didn't make this circle very nice, but here's like an example. I had to go through and make me 5 different layouts for a telemetry section of the app that will show me usage by ticket, where all the tokens are being used, and which stage the tokens are being used, and just kind of lay this out in different ways. So I have like 5 of these, and then based off of those 5 different layouts, I kind of picked and chose which aspects I liked best, and then had to do some additional iterations on that. So I found one that I liked, and I'm not sure which one that is at this point, but it's kind of, I have too many tabs open, so I can't find it. We are still going with the new stack, 506. Still going. See if we can. Before we did the Kanban board, I had the ability to see the steps. Oh, it's already in verification. Oh, excellent. So it passed review already, and it's running verification. Verification is like a script that is unique for your project that essentially is like your local CI. It tells you what to run in what order. So you might have a couple different services running a couple different containers in that stack, and you might need to run tests, different test suites in different containers essentially. So your front end and your back end, for instance, right? You might have an API container, and you might have a front end container, and your verify script basically runs your tests on both of those. It's not just, it tells it which container to use and which tests to run in each container. If I can bring that up. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. It's like this. It's like, so I only have one app. I only have one container in this project, but some projects have multiple containers, and you just specify which container and what the command is you want to run in that container, and it just goes through and does all those things. So it's going to run a TypeScript check. It's going to try to build it. It's going to run tests. It's going to try to actually build the actual Electron app. It's going to try to build Vite, check the packages, and run integration tests. So it's doing a lot. That's why I'm pretty confident just auto merging these things. All right, this thing is done with removing the new stack button. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to move my mouse over here. It's going to automatically get a pull request, and then it's automatically going to merge that pull request if everything works properly. You know, it's all work in progress, so sometimes things don't function. But this has been pretty reliable this week. I think Monday it really started to come together. This weekend I redid everything and made the Kanban board, and then Monday I kind of cleaned up a couple loose ends, and I've been just tweaking some things here and there to improve the flow. But otherwise it's quite efficient once you get it set up. And here we go. It's in new stack. What I want to do is, once it actually merges this, I want to I'm going to close this down and rebuild it. Okay. It says it's merged. I'm going to go ahead and close it now. All right. And I'm going to go rebuild it. I'm just pulling the latest from main. Building a new version. Hopefully it works. Oh, that'd be funny if it didn't. All right, here we go. Bam. I opened it up over here. And we have everything. I don't know why these are here. This is an unrelated bug. This is already done. All right. This is done. These are all done. Something must be wrong with closing these tickets or something. That was another bug. All right, but you can see the button got removed. So that's it. That is the demo. I'm going to discard these because these are all done. We're on number 5 already, and that was the only thing that was running. All right. But you can see the new stack button is done. Oh my, I made that scroll bar way too wide. All right. That's it. That's the demo. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope that shows you a little bit about what I've been working on and how I've been operating here. Oops. And if you are interested in this type of thing, if you're interested in AI and automation and so on, I'm always interested to meet other like-minded people. Just reach out and we'll connect. And I'd love to see what you're working on. Thanks for watching.